Hey guys, we are going to continue talking about healing and relationships and all the things because if you've been following me for any time at all, you know my story. You know that in September I was going through all this physical pain in my body and that I was like working on that for 6 months. And so and it was like physical pain and emotional pain. And if you guys miss that series of videos, it started, I think, last week. So go back through my videos and there's so much there. So if you have something that you're trying to heal from, physical or emotional, those would be super helpful. Like really good. Hey, Hatum. Um, so I want to keep talking about this because I realized, like in the middle of last night, I was thinking how when you're in pain, you just become numb. And when I first went into my PT, he was just like, okay, where does it hurt? I'm like, just everywhere from the waist down. It just hurts everywhere. And I had to take a Sharpie and mark every point on my legs where it hurt because I just disconnected and shut it all the pain down and just was like, I know it hurts, but I'm disconnected from it. I am just connected enough to get to PT and complain about it. But I didn't want to feel it. And so what I did was I became numb. And it reminded me of in my I always start with this sentence. That's why I'm laughing. Back when I was in my 20s and I was married and I was super unhappy, how I became numb, how I turned off my emotions because I didn't want to feel the pain of being with someone that I didn't trust. And I didn't want to feel that. And I didn't want to feel the pain of being a software engineer, and that because that didn't resonate with me. And it was painful for me to do something that I didn't align with. And so let me make sure I'm live everywhere. Okay, good. Alt F. Okay. And so what we do is if we are in a relationship with somebody, and I'm bringing up relationships because this has been a painful point for me, and this is a painful point for my clients, and this is what I help my clients with, because if you have relationship problems, that's going to show up in your business and in your health and everywhere. And it's going to keep you from making money. It's going to keep you from, if you're like something like a coach or a consultant, it's going to keep you from charging the rate that you need to charge. It's going to keep you from just all kinds of things in your business. And I know that we think that because it's a relationship, we don't have any control over the other person. And I'm kind of like smiling because this was my way of thinking for so long. Well, it's the other person. I don't have control over this, so I'm just going to walk away. When really we have so much say over our relationships that we're just giving our power away. And it's not like power, but it's just different. Okay. So what we do is we turn off our emotions. We turn off our desires, because if we can't get what we want in our most intimate relationship, like for example, I wanted to be married to somebody that I trusted. That's simple, but I know so many of you are struggling with the same thing. And you feel as though you have to give up what you want to be in this relationship, to be in this one-sided relationship, or a relationship that's draining you, or a relationship that, for your children or whatever, and you're just giving up so much of who you are, and you're not getting what you want, and you're getting depleted. And so we just cut off our emotions so we don't have to feel that, and we just become numb. And when we become numb, we stop wanting anything. We stop wanting things in our relationship. We stop wanting things in our business. Our motivation goes down. Our drive goes down. So if we're an entrepreneur, we're like, well, this is what typically happens is I'll just ignore my relationship because I don't really have control over that. And my partner's crazy or whatever, right? And I'll just throw myself into work and make sure that I'm secure and safe financially. But when we do that, they are connected. They are connected in so many different ways. So when we do that, we actually end up sabotaging our work and our relationship gets worse. But when we can come back to ourselves and start connecting back to our emotions, which is the thing most people don't want to do, which is why we stay in these problems so long. But if we can come back and know that if we come back to our emotions, come back and heal what needs to be healed, then everything changes. And I know this is very scary for a lot of you. And unless you are at a point where you are so done with being in the same relationship, or so done being in the same relationship problem, or having the same relationship problems, or what's going to happen is once you get out of this relationship, once you figure it out and get out of this relationship, you're going to get into another relationship, and maybe you think you know better, and you're going to get into a safer relationship where there's less chemistry and the person won't cheat on you. You're going to have the same problem. Your problems will follow you from relationship to relationship. So you can do what I did, where I just decided to get a one-way ticket out of the country, get a divorce, take a one-way ticket to Spain, and then keep getting into relationship after relationship where I had the same problem over and over again. Or you can decide that, no, I'm going to stop this pain now, and I'm going to take control over what I want and start creating the life and the relationship that I want. I think there was more stuff there. Okay, so if you are at a point where you are numbing yourself, you're going to have a hard time figuring out what you want. This is part of the reason why it took me 4 years after I decided that I wanted out of my relationship to get out of my relationship, because I had no idea what I wanted, because I suppressed that so much. So I was so uncertain of myself, and I did so much research into what I wanted, right? It sounds like I just bought a one-way ticket and went to Spain, but really I did a lot of research and figured out, gained my confidence, and then figured out what I could do to really extend my travels. But we're basically suppressing everything that we want. And when we suppress what we want, because we're not getting what we want in our relationship, then our sex drive goes down. Our business stops making money because we don't know what to do in our business. It sounds simple, but we really don't know. We start overworking because we're trying to make up for the problems in our relationship. And we kind of just end up sabotaging our business because we disconnect from who we are and what we want. So if we can start connecting back to ourselves, and hey, Jen, how are you? If we can start connecting back to ourselves and start healing our relationships, then that's going to help us start getting what we want in our relationships. The problem is most of us are so burnt because we've been in bad relationships or bad relationship patterns for so long that we've numbed ourselves, and we're saying it's not possible to be with somebody that doesn't cheat on me. It's not possible to have what I want. It's not possible to have my desires. And we just numb ourselves. And we feel that there is pain, but we can't really feel where it is. And then we wake up one day and we realize we don't have desires anymore. Like our sex drive is down. We're not making money because we don't, you have to desire money to get money. Like there has to be a receiving there to get money coming in. And so when we shut the door for our desires, that door shuts too. I hope this is making sense. And when we decide that, okay, we're done with this shit show, we're going to take the steps that we need to take to heal and start getting what we want, then everything changes. And what we can't do is we can't say, okay, I'm going to break up, get a divorce, and then I'm going to work on my business, because you're still not getting what you want. You're still not getting your desires. You're still not getting your needs met. And when you still don't get your desires and needs met, then you're really sad because, well, you just ended your relationship. And then you also are fueling that unbelief that love isn't possible for you. And when you fuel that, then you start to suppress, or you keep suppressing and you keep numbing because it's painful, because you feel like you're not enough. You feel like there's nothing that you can do right to get the love that you crave. And so then you stop showing up so much in your business or at your work. And it's just, you do see how it's a domino effect, right? Hey, Dean. If we can get to a point where you say you're done and you say that you want to heal, which is what I went through, which was like physical and emotional. Don't wait till you have pain in your legs or some other physical pain to go and heal your relationship shit. Let's do that before you have physical pain, okay? Just a little tip, because that was not fun. When you get to a point where you're like, I'm done, I'm going to heal, I want to start getting what I want, then everything changes. And you can start having those desires again and start getting what you want. I've seen this over and over again. And hey, Chris. And I know that for a lot of us who are in relationships or have been hurt in relationships, relationships trigger us. Seeing people get married triggers us. Seeing weddings trigger us. Seeing people have kids maybe triggers us. We get triggered because we don't think it's possible. Hey, Chris. We don't think it's possible. We don't think that a happy, healthy relationship with passion is possible for us. So we get super triggered by other people who are getting what it looks like they're getting what we want, but we don't believe that we can have it. So we get really triggered. And if you're getting triggered, that means two things, probably more than two, but it means that there is healing that needs to happen, and that you don't believe that it's possible. And if you don't believe that it's possible, then you need to take care of the healing part of it, right? You need to take care of the healing, because there's a part of you that wants the relationship. You want to have love. You want to have that intimacy. And it's okay that you've been hurt. It's okay that all that stuff has happened and that you have these feelings. But what's not okay is for you to keep going in that pain. To keep going in that pain is, to keep going in that pain is going to repeat the cycle. You're going to get into another relationship with the same exact problem. And I know from experience. I know, because if you've been following me for any amount of time, again, you know what I went through in end of last year. You know the physical pain. You know my connection to my trauma with my parents and my ex-husband and all of that. And if you ask me, if you PM me, if you want the video, I can send you a link to the video. But I went through the healing process for that, because before that, I was rejecting love. I was rejecting relationships. And even though I was in a relationship, I still had the same problems, which is why all of 2017 happened. But there is a way to flip the switch. For 20 years, I was just like, in the same problem all the time. I got married. I did not believe in marriage at the time, right? Which was fucked up. But I wanted it. So I was like, well, I guess this is the sacrifice that I have to make. I have to settle for someone that I don't trust, and I have to live with this pain. And I would just push down those feelings. And so when it came to, okay, how was I going to support myself when I got out of my marriage? I was like, well, I'll just be a software engineer. I'm not happy anyway, so it doesn't matter what I do for work. Do you see how that translates into the work that I'm doing? Right? If you're not happy, it doesn't matter what happens at work. It doesn't matter the money that you're making. Nothing matters if you're not happy. And you can either keep denying yourself and keep being triggered by weddings and, happy couples and keep living in that pain, or you can decide that you're done with it. You can decide that you want what you want and you're tired of not getting it, because it's possible. It's possible. Okay, so if this hits home for you, if this makes sense for you, if this is you, and you want to talk about healing your past relationships and starting to create new relationships, even if you're in the middle of a relationship right now, don't worry about it. What you need can happen at any point, whether you're single, in a relationship, just broke up, wherever you are. If you need to heal, you need to heal. I wish I knew then what I know now about healing. And obviously I'm not supposed to be with my ex-husband, and everything was supposed to happen, but I carried a lot of pain for a really long time. So if this makes sense for you and you want to talk about working together, I'm going to drop the application in the notes, in the comments. And if you want more information on the videos that I did last week, if you can't find them, they're on my personal page under videos. But if you can't find them, let me know and I'll point you in the right direction. And I will see you guys on the next Facebook Live.